Spells for crafters. Oh, here's one. Stamps and ink, scissors and washi tape, turn me into a grape. Wait, grape? Oh, great crafter! Well, that's weird. Witch's brew. Oh.
I don't feel so good. Ugh. Hi everyone, I'm Lois and I am taking over for the off-kilter crafter Ian. He is off recovering from surgery and he will be back very, very soon. Well, as long as they didn't take too much of his brain out. But today, while I'm here, we're going to show you how to make two different cards, basically the same. You should enjoy this project. I think you'll have a lot of fun, so let's get started. Okay, today we're going to be making a Halloween card. And we're going to start with your basic black cardstock. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and we are going to fold it exactly in half, or as pretty close to exactly as you can get. And then a good thing to do is to use a bone creaser and crease it really good here so that it is ready to go. Okay, we folded our card and creased it, and now we're going to be using a die cut. That's what this silver piece is here. We have secured it with some painter's tape to keep it secure as we slide it through the big kick sizzix. We're going to lay this here and let me show you really quickly. This is what the dies look like, and they're all many different ones that just peel right off and you can use them. We'll actually be using 2 of these today and you'll see that shortly. So we're going to lay it on the big sizzix machine. Then you lay the other piece on it. You slide it through. It's very simple. You're just going to whirl the crank. And if you hear cracking, don't worry about it. That's perfectly normal. Okay, we've taken it through the machine. And now we're going to peel the painter's tape and hope that we did it the right way. So we're pulling it through. And there we have a little window. Okay, so now we're going to create a frame for our card, and we're going to take those sizzix dies that I showed you, and we're going to use 2 of them. We're going to take the big one and put it right on the edge there. You don't want to waste any more paper than you need to. And then we're going to put this other smaller one inside and just kind of eyeball it to make sure it's in there. And then use your painter's tape again and tape them down to hold them in place. And then we're going to send this through the big kick sizzix once again. Remember, if there's cracking, it's okay. Slide it out the other end. And you can see it's cut like this. And we are very carefully, because you don't want to bend your dies or the paper. We don't need that part, but save it for something else. Slowly but surely we're taking the tape off. And actually what we want is this part right here. That's the next part for your card. You can save all the other parts. You can see this, you can save it for other projects that you might have. So for the inside of the card, we want to put a sheet of cardstock in there that we're able to stamp on. And the dimensions are going to be 5 by 4. And we're just taking our little cutter here. You can use scissors or the cut slicer. And then as you see, it will fit right inside, and then we're going to be doing some other things. So that's our first piece of cardstock that we're cutting. Okay, then in addition to this, we are going to have a little piece of cardstock here to kind of just highlight it, give it a little bit of pop. So it's going to measure, you can see it's on this side, it's the polka dot. We're going to do 4 inches. So I'm going to line it up with 4 inches, slice it, and then I really just want just a little bit to highlight up. Probably didn't see that. Just a little bit to highlight up here. So I'm going to take and cut it just maybe, this is probably about half an inch, and slice it. And there's my piece of stock I'm going to use. And we're just going to put it up there to highlight it. Okay, next we're going to do the outside of the card. We want to be able to put something right here to make it pop, and we've chosen some orange, and we're going to cut this 4 by 2.5. So we've got our 4 inches right here, and this is for the front of the card. Slice it, and then we want 2.5 inches and slice it. And that basically just depends on your card, and if you wanted it to go a little further down, you could. So it's give and take. It doesn't have to be exact, but there's your orange on top of that. And the next piece we're going to cut is this pretty orange paper that's kind of Halloweenish. And just FYI, if you flip it over, there is a pretty pink butterfly flower design on the back. This is from Stamp It Up that you can buy through online or through a sales rep there. But we're going to take this and we're going to cut this also to highlight it. Okay, so our next sheet of paper that we're going to use, that we're going to now place on top of the orange, we're going to layer this card. We want this to be 4 by 1.5. So I'm going to cut the 1.5 first, which would be right there. And then we're going to cut it 4, which we're going to flip that around. Okay, so now we're going to go 4 inches, which is measured right there, slice, and as you can see, we are now going to layer that directly on top of that. Then we've got one more piece to cut, and it's going to be the green. Remember, we cut this and this for inside the card. But if you'll notice too, if you flip this over, we've got different patterns on either side. We are now going to tie this design to the outside of the card. So we're going to take another sheet of paper or another scrap that we have, and we are going to cut that to go on this card. So, okay, so now we're going to do our next layer, and this one is going to be 4 inches. And you can tell this sheet that I have right here is basically 4 inches. And then we want it to be about 1 inch. So we're going to line it up with the 1 inch mark. Watch your fingers. Slice. And now this is basically going to go on here like this. The next thing that I did was I wanted to kind of ragged up the edges. It is Halloween after all. So I just took these great scissors from Stamp It Up, and they have like a little jagged edge. You could probably tear it if you wanted to, but I just barely take the edges and slice those straight edges off to give it a little bit of personality for the card. See the ragged edges? And I've gotten close, but that's not an exact straight line. Don't worry about that. And then also do the same thing with the inside of the card. And on this one, you just have to do the one edge, because the other edge is going to be hidden. Okay, we have all our edges with jagged, or all our cardstock with jagged little edges now. So the next thing we're going to do, we just get a piece of vellum and just cut a small square to fit behind the little frame that you did with your die cut. See how it's going to fit? But now we're going to cut it so that none of those edges will show on your card. Okay, so we have our piece of vellum. I'm just going to use a regular ruler and a small pencil. Could be a big pencil. And I'm actually going to come, and I guess you can use a ruler or you don't have to. We just want to stay with inside the frame because we don't want this showing outside once we cut it. And we're just going to cut this with regular scissors. Don't worry about the pencil marks because all of this should be hidden. And we're going to take, what will happen now is that this will be glued on the inside. So this is what we will see. So next we're going to start assembling our card. We're going to glue this vellum to our frame, and you can use liquid glue, but I'm out of that right now, so we are going to use little tape. Which can be sticky. And then we're going to take our piece of vellum and just glue it inside. Voila! You can peel off the little extra glue that is showing right there that easily. Next, we're going to take this piece of vellum and this frame, and it's going to be glued right here. You might check on the other side. See, we don't want the black showing. So my glue that I used is kind of still there. And now we have this. Voila. So we're going to do our inside part next, and we're going to put this here. And we're going to take this little strip that we have and put it right there. And you notice it's a tiny bit too big, so no big deal. Just with your special little scissors, give it a little whack. And then we're going to take and glue this first. One for good measure. This. And you want to make sure the polka dots show. So we're going to place that on there. And then we're going to take this and center it as best as possible. And as I said, the lines are not even now because we cut it, but that's not a big deal. It just adds a little bit of personality. So now when we close it, you can kind of see the writing between there, and we'll put some stamps there. And there you have that. So now we're going to finish the front of it, and we're going to layer it. First, take our orange piece like that. And just kind of eyeball it and center it on the card. So that is on there. And then we're going to take our green piece, because it is going to end up looking like that. So we're going to take the green piece. And if you notice the polka dots, we have actually wanted on this side to tie the polka dots here on the outside. So I'm going to take that and just kind of place it right there. And now our pretty orange piece is going right on top of all of that. And then you just kind of center it how you want. And there's the front and the inside. There you go. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to put our sentiment in it, and we are just going to say, Happy Halloween. Simple, we can do that. But we want the Happy Halloween to show on the outside. When you close this, you'll be able to see it. So what I do is I put this here, and I make a little tiny pencil mark, very, very, very light there. When I close it, I can see that pencil mark, so I know that my sentiment will be seen through that window. I'm going to use the Stampin' Up! Pumpkin Pie, kind of appropriate for the season. And we're just going to take the stamp and make sure that it's well covered. Looks pretty covered, don't you think? And then I'm going to kind of center it and line it up with that mark that I made. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of pressure and lift straight up. And there is Happy Halloween. Okay, we're gonna show you this cute little thing. It's from Stampin' Up! Also, and it's to clean your stamps. And on this side, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but there's little tiny drops, like to say that's where the moisture is. And on this side is the sun, so it's dry. Now I'm gonna flip it around. This is the wet side, and I'm going to use this Stampin' Mist here. And I just spray it on that wet side. Take the stamp that we just used, the Happy Halloween stamp, and just kind of rub it to clean it. And see how clean that is? And then I use this side to dry it. Then your stamps are all clean and you'll be able to use them for years to come. There you go. Okay, everybody, we now have our card like this. I said we just stamped the Happy Halloween. There's that, and we're now going to put a wonderful little spider web. We have taken a clear acrylic block with some clear stamps, and they look like this. I'm turning them around this way. They look like this. I got these from Michael's. This is the packaging that they came in. I got them at Michael's, and I think probably 50% off or some kind of great price. So they come looking like this. We put the web on there. And I'm just going to take a black stamp pad and I'm going to stamp my web. And we want to make sure that we get it covered. Covered, covered, covered. Just doesn't look like it's covering, but I think it is. Okay. So now you can position it however you want. We want to have it just a little bit covering up the Happy Halloween. And we're going to take and stamp. And stamp. Make sure that it covers. And lift. And there's a cute little spider web. And you can see it's kind of doing that. And now we're going to take a heat gun that I have had forever, but it still works great. Because we just want to be able to dry the vellum just in case it smears. So I'm just going to do this for a few minutes, or probably not even a few minutes, a few seconds, just to get it dry. These heat guns are very, very hot, so please be careful with your hands. You will know immediately when you're feeling that. Okay, I think that's probably dry enough. Okay, now notice that when we stamped this center part did not stamp very well. I should have put more ink on it, but sometimes that helps you leads you into another creative mode. And so we've decided with the same stamp set, there is a spider right here, and we're going to use the spider and put him in the middle of the spider web, because that's where spiders live. So we're just going to position him, stamp, and lift. And there is a cute little spider that's even cuter than we had originally planned. Okay, so this is what our card is looking like. We think it's mighty cute. But now we want to add just a little something else, because right up here is a little space that I think needs something. So we're going to open that up. The same stamp set that we just showed you has got 3 little tiny spiders that we are going to get all inked up, little black spiders. And I'm double checking again, and I just want it above the E's. And I am going to position them right there. And lift. Cute little spiders. Okay, so there is our finished card. You can see, hopefully, through the vellum, the little spiders, the Happy Halloween, and the spider on the front. On the open inside, write your sentiment, and somebody will love to have that. There's our cute little card that we just finished that you watched us make, but let me show you that you can also do basically the same technique and come up with different cards that you don't have to use the vellum, and you can use just a regular Happy Halloween stamp. Here's the same card. Notice it looks different though. And we have layered it the same way. But inside, we have only stamped Happy Halloween and then a little sticker that's a bat that we've put in there. Got those at the dollar store, a package of about 20, 30 for $1. And you could use the bat or you could stick a little witch's hat inside, or you could even put a little pumpkin. Whatever creativity you want to use on these cards is going to be perfect. Everybody's going to love to have these because you made them for them and you thought enough of them to take your time to do that. So you can have the same card, but they look completely different. Also, if you want to go even further, you can get an envelope punch board, either from Stampin' Up! Or Michael's. Many people have them. And you can make your own envelope. Very, very simple. You would slide and punch, slide and punch. On this one, though, because we had the jagged edges that we cut, I cut jagged edges on this. And then we would just take and glue these like so. And then you put this here. And you can take your cute card that you made and slide it in there and send it off to your friend. Hope everybody enjoyed our video today showing you how we made these two different cards that are basically the same card with just a little bit of tweaking differently. Remember, this card is the very basic simple card. We did layers with the paper, and inside we just used a little sticker we got from the dollar store. All we did on this card to change it up was to add some vellum, do a different stamp on the outside of it, and a little stamp on the inside. Two completely different cards. They look great, even they were inexpensive to make, just a lot of fun to make. So guys, have fun doing your creativity and your artwork and your cards and all that. Enjoy it. No, people are going to love it if they get a card from you. Also, we just wanted to highlight to you, you can find unique paper anywhere. I bought it from Stampin' Up! I've got it from Michael's, and this is from Tuesday's Mornings, and it's on this side and on this side. Made these cute little boxes that we got from the We Are Memory Keepers, and you can make boxes from this size all the way up to what a cup size box would be. But you can also use this paper and cut it however you want to and use that to layer your cards. That's our show for today, and I hope you enjoyed having me as your guest host while our off-kilter crafter is off resting, taking some time off. Now, hey, don't forget to look below. That's where you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and like us if you like what you saw. We really appreciate it. And hey, don't forget,
Keep it off kilter.
Aren't you supposed to be resting?
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Now get some rest.
Okay. Bloopers.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it. This video and subscribe to the Off-Kilter Crafter YouTube channel.
Do it again.
No, so close up your stamp pad. Maybe. Can tell I use these. They're really very simple to close.
I'm taking over.
It's Halloween and I'm
week.
taking over. So, hope you guys have fun. Keep on stamping and enjoy yourselves.
Dun dun dun.